Democrats plan to create our first federal paid family and medical leave program just got chopped from President Biden's Build Back Better plan. The original plan called for 12 weeks of paid leave, and then that got knocked down to 4 weeks, and then just eliminated altogether. As BNC's Jenyne Donaldson explains, that leaves the United States as just one of a small handful of countries without a national leave program.
That is the reason I left my last job, was because they didn't have any maternity leave whatsoever.
Ellen Freeman is a new mom. She took 16 weeks maternity leave with 2 weeks unpaid. She says she can't fathom how parents with no paid leave manage.
If you have to go back to work immediately, whether it's because they don't have maternity leave or because you don't have the funds or the means to be able to stay at home with your baby, that is you literally giving up healing time in order to be able to go back to work.
She says that's not even taking into account things like baby sleep regression, doctor's appointments, and bonding time.
The entire time that I was on maternity leave, I was like, I don't know how somebody would do this if they needed to go back to work at that 6-week mark.
For the first time in years, U.S. lawmakers were close to making paid family and medical leave accessible to everyone. Jody Heyman, founding director of the World Policy Analysis Center, says it's incredibly striking that the rest of the world has been able to figure out how to implement and pay for this program, but the U.S. hasn't.
If COVID has shown us nothing else, it should have shown us that we can't afford not to have sick leave.
So what's the rest of the world doing? 186 countries out of 193 provide paid maternity leave. The only ones that don't are small Pacific islands and the U.S. 158 of those countries provide 12 weeks or more. 107 countries provide paid paternity leave. 44 of those give 12 weeks or more. 181 countries provide paid sick leave. 133 of those provide 12 weeks or more.
Black and Latinx families have less resources they can turn to during an unpaid leave.
She says lack of paid leave exacerbates inequalities across class, race, and gender. Jenyne Donaldson in Charlotte for Amplified.
Y'all, the United States just never seems to shock me in its desire to race to the bottom in every metric of comparison to the rest of the world. The fact that we are right there, right beside the Pacific Islands in terms of the amount of paid leave that we offer, or frankly don't, because at this point it's none, is just sickening and disheartening, given the fact that Congress is negotiating this and debating this right now in the wake of a pandemic where people have needed to not work, to take care of themselves, to take care of their families, let alone just the day-to-day experiences of caring for aging family members, for children, having your own children. It is just downright inhumane and ignorant that we care so little about people, that we would want to pad the pockets of corporations who don't want to afford to lose their workers for a certain amount of time, and just let all of our people continue to get sick, to have mental health issues, and to bear the burden of what corporations, essentially are doing, which is putting all of their might on our backs while they make money. I can go on and on and on about how ridiculous this is, but I would just encourage all of us to keep lobbying our members of Congress. Get this paid leave back. We got to figure this out, guys, because this is just wrong. I'll be right back on BNC. I got a couple minutes, so stick with me.